Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In previous lecture, we discussed practice set 5.3. Today, we are going to start practice set 5.4 of lesson quadrilateral. Practice set 5.4, question number 1. This practice set is based on trapezium. You know the property of trapezium? One opposite sides are parallel and all the angles are of different measure is called trapezium. The quadrilateral in which one opposite side is parallel and angles are of different measure is called trapezium. This figure is like a trapezium. Okay. This whole exercise is based on the trapezium. So let's start the question number 1. Question number 1, in quadrilateral IJKL, in this quadrilateral, side IJ is parallel to side KL, one opposite side is parallel, and angle I is 108 degree and angle K is 53 degree, and you have to find angle J and angle L. Okay, it's very easy. You know, adjacent angles of quadrilateral are supplementary. So these two are the adjacent angle, angle I and angle L. These two are the adjacent angle and adjacent angles are supplementary. So you can easily find angle L. Now similarly here adjacent angles are supplementary. So you can find angle J by using the supplementary concept. That means adjacent angles of quadrilaterals are supplementary. So let's start your solution. In quadrilateral IJKL, okay, angle I plus angle L is equal to 180 degree. Right here, adjacent angles. You know, adjacent angles of quadrilateral are supplementary. Now substitute the values. Angle I is 108 degree plus angle L is equal to 180 degree. Okay. Now therefore angle L is equal to 180 minus 108. Subtracting, then you get the value of angle L. 10 minus 8 is 2. 7, 1 minus 1, 0, 72 degree. Here you get the value of angle L. Now similarly, angle J plus angle K is equal to 180. Again, adjacent angles. Adjacent angles of quadrilateral are supplementary. Okay. Now substitute the value. Angle J we have to find. Angle K is 53 is equal to 180. So therefore angle J is equal to 180 minus 53 degree. Now subtracting, angle J is equal to 10 minus 3 is 7. 7 minus 2, 5 is to 127 degree. Here you get the value of angle J. Okay. It's very easy question. This is question number 1. Here the angle I is given to you 108 degree and angle K is 53 degree, and you have to find angle L and angle J. So here I applied the concept of adjacent angles of quadrilateral are supplementary. So angle I, angle L, they are the adjacent angles, so therefore they are supplementary. Supplementary, that means their sum is 180. So angle I plus angle L 180. So here you get the value of angle L 72 degree. Now similarly this side angle J and angle K are also adjacent angles, so they are supplementary. So angle J plus angle K 180. So here you get the value of angle J 127 degree. Okay. Now move to the next, that is question number 2. See here in question number 2, side BC is parallel to side AD. That means these two are the parallel side. And side AB is congruent. This side is congruent to side DC. Okay. In a trapezium, if one opposite side is parallel and one opposite side is congruent, then that type of trapezium is called isosceles trapezium. Okay. That means this is a isosceles trapezium. Because in this trapezium, one opposite side is parallel and one opposite side is congruent. So this type of trapezium is called isosceles trapezium. So this is isosceles trapezium. One main important property of isosceles trapezium, base angles of isosceles trapezium are congruent. That means angle A and angle D congruent, angle B and angle C congruent. This is the important property of isosceles trapezium. In isosceles trapezium, base angles are congruent. Okay. So let's start your solution. in this question, one opposite side is parallel and one opposite side is congruent. That means this is isosceles trapezium. Here angle A is given to you 72 degree and you have to find here angle B and angle D. Angle D is the base angle. As I told you, base angles of isosceles trapezium are congruent. So angle D is also 72 degrees. Now remaining is angle B. Angle A and angle B are the adjacent angle. So adjacent angles of a quadrilateral is supplementary. So you can find the value of angle B by using the concept of adjacent angle supplementary. Solution: in quadrilateral ABCD. In quadrilateral ABCD, side BC parallel to side AD. Side AB is congruent to side DC. Okay. So therefore, quadrilateral ABCD is a isosceles trapezium. It is isosceles trapezium if as one opposite side parallel and one opposite side congruent. So it is a isosceles trapezium. Here angle A is given to you 72 degree given. So therefore angle A is equal to angle D. Right here, base angles of isosceles trapezium are congruent. Okay. So therefore angle A is equal to angle D, or you can say congruent. So therefore angle D is also 72 degree. The next is angle B. A and B are the adjacent angles. So angle A plus angle B is equal to 180 degree. Adjacent angles. Now substitute the values here. Angle A is 72 degree. Angle B we have to find is equal to 180. Now therefore angle B is equal to 180 minus 72. 10 minus 2 is 8. 7 minus 7 is 0, 108 degree. Okay. So angle B here is 108 degree. 10 minus 2 is 8. 7 minus 7, 0, 1. 108 degree. Okay. Once again, first of all, in this quadrilateral, one opposite side is parallel. That means AD and BC are parallel. And AB and CD are congruent. One opposite side parallel and one opposite side congruent. So this is a isosceles trapezium. It's not a simple trapezium. It's isosceles trapezium. And main important property of isosceles trapezium, base angles of isosceles trapezium are congruent. That means if angle A is 72 degree, then angle D is also 72 degree. These are the base angles. Okay. Now angle B we have to find by using the concept of adjacent angles or supplementary. So angle A plus angle B is equal to 180. So you get the value of angle B 108 degree. Okay. Next question number 3. In question number 3, in quadrilateral ABCD, side BC is smaller than side AD. That means out of parallel side, BC is the smaller part and AD is the greater part. So side BC is smaller than side AD. Side BC is parallel to side AD. That means one opposite side is parallel. Side AB is congruent to side CD. That means one opposite side parallel and one opposite side congruent. So again this trapezium is an isosceles trapezium. Okay. And you have to prove angle ABC. That means this angle is congruent to angle DCB. That means this angle. They are the base angles. Okay. And you have to prove the base angles are congruent. So let's start your solution. In quadrilateral ABCD, side BC is parallel to side AD. One opposite side parallel. Side AB is congruent to side CD. Okay. These two are given. So therefore quadrilateral ABCD is a isosceles trapezium. This is isosceles trapezium. Okay. This quadrilateral is the isosceles trapezium as one opposite side parallel and one opposite side congruent. And in isosceles trapezium, base angles are congruent. So right here, base angles of isosceles trapezium, base angle of isosceles trapezium are congruent. Okay, so therefore angle ABC is congruent to angle DCB. They are the base angles. Okay, very easy. This is the question number 3. We first of all, here one opposite side parallel, one opposite side is congruent. So therefore this is isosceles trapezium, and you have to prove ABC is congruent to DCB. As it is isosceles trapezium, then automatically these base angles are congruent. This is the property of isosceles trapezium. Okay. Now move to the next practice set, that is practice set 5.5. In this practice set, just we are going to discuss two questions, question number 1 and question number 3. Okay. This practice set is based on midpoint theorem. This practice set is based on midpoint theorem. You know the midpoint property. Midpoint divides the segment in two equal parts. Okay. Now here in a triangle, suppose this is my triangle ABC and this is the midpoint of side AB, AC and BC. I am giving the name here PQR. Then the segment formed by joining the midpoint. Okay, the segment which join the midpoint is parallel to the opposite side and half of the opposite side. That means PR here parallel to BC and PR is half of BC. Got it? So this is the important midpoint property. The segment which join the midpoint is parallel to the opposite side. The segment which join the midpoint is half of the opposite side and is parallel to the opposite side. Similarly, PQ is the segment which join the midpoint. So PQ is half of AC, that means opposite side, and PQ is parallel of AC. Remember this concept. This is the midpoint theorem. As per the midpoint theorem, the segment join the midpoint is parallel to the opposite side and half to the opposite side. So same property we have to apply here in question number 1 and question number 3 of practice set 5.5. Okay, so let's start question number 1. Question number 1 is, in triangle ABC, X, Y, Z are the midpoint of side AB, BC and AC. AB value is 5, AC value is 9, BC value is 11. Then you have to find the value of XY, that means segment which join the midpoint. YZ is the segment which join the midpoint. XZ is also the segment which join the midpoint. Okay. So as we discussed, the segment formed by joining the midpoint is half of the opposite side and parallel to opposite side. So let's start your solution. In triangle ABC, point X, Y, Z are the midpoint of side AB, BC and AC. Okay. So therefore, by midpoint theorem. What is the midpoint theorem? Midpoint theorem says that the segment which join the midpoint is half of the opposite side or half of the third side, you can say that, or parallel to the third side. So therefore XY, its opposite side is AC. So XY is half of AC. XY is half of AC. Okay. So find the value. So therefore XY is half of AC value here is 9. So half of 9 is 4.5. Okay. Centimeter. Next you have to find YZ. YZ again the segment which join the midpoint. So its half of opposite side is AB. Half of AB. Substitute the value here. half of AB value is 5. So half of 5 is 2.5. So YZ is 2.5. Now the next is XZ. XZ is again the segment which join the midpoint. X and Z are the midpoint. The segment which join the midpoint is we can apply the property here. XZ is the segment which join the midpoint is again half of opposite side, that means BC. Okay, so half of BC value is 11. So half of 11 is 5.5 centimeter. So here XZ is 5.5 centimeter. Once again see here, XY is the segment which join the midpoint of side AB and side BC. So XY is half of opposite side AC. Okay, so XY is half of AC by midpoint 7. So half of 9 is 4.5 centimeter. Now again, Y is the midpoint of BC and Z is the midpoint of AC. So this segment join the midpoint. So this segment is half of opposite side, that means AB. So half of AB, that means half of 5, 2.5 centimeter. Now again here, X is the midpoint of AB, Z is the midpoint of AC. So XZ is the segment which join the midpoint, is half of opposite side, that means BC. So half of 11 is 5.5 centimeter. Okay, this is question number 1. Now next is question number 3. To the question number 3. Question number 3 is triangle ABC is an equilateral triangle. This triangle ABC is an equilateral triangle. You know the property of equilateral triangle, all three sides are equal. As this triangle is equilateral triangle, so therefore AB is equal to BC is equal to AC. Now here FDE points. F is the midpoint of AB, D is the midpoint of BC and E is the midpoint of AC. Then you have to show that the quadrilateral, the triangle which formed by joining these three midpoint is equilateral triangle. Okay. So let's start your proof. First of all, in triangle ABC, FDE are the midpoint of side AB, BC and AC. So therefore FD is the segment which join the midpoint is half of opposite side, that means AC. Similarly, DE is the segment which formed by joining the midpoint is half of opposite side, that means AB. And EF is the segment which join the midpoint is half of opposite side, that means BC. So let's start. In triangle ABC, point FDE are the mid points of side AB, BC and AC. Okay. So therefore by midpoint theorem, as per the midpoint theorem, FD is half of opposite side, that means AC. Give it number 1. Okay. And DE is half of opposite side, that means AB. Next is EF is half of opposite side, that means BC. Give it number 3. Okay. Now triangle ABC is equilateral triangle. Is an equilateral triangle. Okay. So as this is an equilateral triangle, so therefore side AB is equal to side BC is equal to side AC. Okay. As this is an equilateral triangle, all three sides are equal. Now see here, if you prove FD is equal to DE is equal to EF, that means if you prove these three sides are equal, then you can prove this triangle is an equilateral triangle. But FD is half of AC, half of AC is FD, half of AB is DE, and half of BC is EF. That means multiply by half. So multiply by half. So it's become half of AB is equal to half of BC is equal to half of AC. Now see here, half of AB is DE and half of BC is EF and half of AC is FD. From 1, 2, 3. From 1 to 3, half of AB is DE, half of AB is DE, half of BC. Half of BC is EF and half of AC is FD. So as now in triangle, give it number 4. Okay. Now in triangle FDE, in triangle FDE, DE is equal to EF is equal to FD from fourth. Okay. From fourth we prove DE is equal to EF is equal to FD. So therefore triangle FDE is an equilateral triangle. As these three sides are equal, so this triangle is a equilateral triangle. Once again see here, the given is triangle ABC is a equilateral triangle and point FDE are the midpoints of the side AB, BC and AC, and you have to prove the triangle which formed by joining this small midpoint is an also equilateral triangle. So let's start your solution proof. In triangle ABC, FDE are the midpoints. So by midpoint theorem, FD is the segment which join the midpoint is half of AC, number 1. And DE is again the segment which join the midpoint is half of opposite side, that means AB. And EF is also the segment which join the midpoint is half of opposite side, that means BC. So give it number 1, number 2, number 3. Okay. Now triangle ABC is equilateral triangle. So if it is a equilateral triangle, then side AB is equal to side BC is equal to side AC. Okay. Now half of AC is equal to FD, half of AB is equal to DE and half of BC is equal to EF. Okay. That means if you prove FD is equal to DE is equal to EF, that means you have to prove these three sides are equal. So but here AB, BC and AC, but half of AC is FD and half of AB is DE and half of BC is EF. So that's why I multiply by half. So by multiplying with half of AB is equal to half of BC is equal to half of AC. Half of AB is DE and half of BC is EF and half of AC is FD. Okay. Now in this triangle FDE, all these three sides are equal from 4. So therefore this triangle is the equilateral triangle. Okay. So in this practice set, that means 5.5, prepare only these two questions, that means question number 1 and question number 3. Okay. Complete your Koya notebook, practice all the question 2-3 times. Inshallah in next lecture we will continue next part. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah.